Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty and the Frizz. My name is Kara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. Y'all have been waiting for this video and it is here. Today I'm sharing my eyeshadow palette collection. So you're gonna need a mimosa or something for this one. I don't have a mimosa today. I have vitamin water, 0 sugar, but I might be drinking a mimosa as we watch this video together. So what you're gonna see in this video is me showing every single eyeshadow palette that I have. We are not gonna be here all day at all. I am going to roll through these palettes. A lot of epiphanies. So if you're ready to see my eyeshadow palette collection, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think, good or bad. And if makeup is your therapy and your love and you just want to connect with other enthusiasts in this community, definitely consider joining because we'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. Okay, you guys, without further ado, I'm gonna cut to my iPhone footage and we're gonna roll through these palettes one by one. Here we go. All right, y'all, we are going to jump right in with Tasha, y'all. Now, you know I love me some Natasha Denona. I do. We gotta make this quick. Let's get started. We have Natasha Denona, Mini Gold, Cranberry, Mini Zendo that didn't look like the Mini Zendo, Mini Star, which I actually really like. We have the Bronze palette. This was my very first Natasha Denona palette. Leela, haven't used it, but don't worry, I will. Glam Face Light, Glam Face Dark, Sunset, gorgeous. A Surprise Love of Mine, Midi Retro, Metropolis Reimagined, Trio Chrome, probably my favorite Natasha Denona palette with a blue shade added. Biba, I'd buy a second one. Midi Love, so freaking beautiful. Last but not least is Sunset, haven't used it, but bet your by golly I will. These are my Tashas, y'all. I don't need no more eyeshadow, y'all. This is enough. This is enough right here. And the quality, I can't. Next, we are going into Norvina and Anastasia Beverly Hills. All right, let's do it. All right, we have Norvina, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. Got 1 and 3. No, I got, 1 and 3 on BoxyCharm, I think, for 24 bucks. Volume 4, which I call the Spring Palette. Volume 5, The Business, y'all. One of the best of 2021, if I don't say so myself. Or if I do say so myself. I think that's what you say. All right, moving on. Amrezy, Reimagined. There are no pressed glitters in this because I remixed it. I know it's dirty. Jackie. This is the Jackie Aina palette. This is probably my favorite Anastasia palette. This palette, y'all, is The Business. Still pretty much worth getting. Very much worth getting. I'll just say that. Sultry. I love this one and I don't use it, but I really love having it. I don't know what it is about this one, but it is gorgeous. All right, y'all, that is the end of this collection. I did forget to show this. This is the Norvina 3, the mini. So next we have Kaleidos. I have 3 Futurism palettes, 2 of their regular size palettes, or I guess 3. First we have Sashimi City, which is so gorgeous, y'all. It is. Astro Pink, Lunar Lavender, the Escape Pod, which was my first Kaleidos palette, Club Nebula, which was a collab with Angelica Nyquist, and Flower Punk with the top I don't like. Sorry. This is my only palette by Artist Couture. This is the Supreme Bronze palette, which is absolutely gorgeous. I really like it. I haven't had any desire to get any of the other palettes, but I really do like this one. Next, we're going to go into my girl Charlotte Tilbury, and then we're going to go into NARS. Just 2 for them. First, we're going to go into the Holiday 2021 palette. This is the Instant Eye palette. Smoky Eyes Are Forever. The 2020 Holiday palette. Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. The Icon palette. Got this on Mercari. Don't know when it came out. Queen of Glow. got this on sale somewhere. The Rock Chick. Have never used this, but I'm going to. Fire Rose. This one was a huge deal for Charlotte Tilbury. Last but not least, we have Super Blue, which I really, really love this one. And I just got the eye pencil to match. Moving on to NARS and their sexually explicit eyeshadow palette names. This is the Climax or C palette, which looks so beautiful, but I haven't used it yet, but I will. The Mini Orgasm Mini O palette. I really like this one. It came with a blush highlight trio that I use frequently. All right, y'all. Y'all know these are my babies. Melt Cosmetics, even though y'all know how. Y'all know. First, we have the Blueprint. Love this color story. That Skylight Shimmer, but I love it. Oh my God, recently deceased. I can't, but I can. The Waiting Room, very unique. Even though some of these colors do look the same on the eye, I don't care. Sore spot in my heart, Amor y Mariposas. Even though I really, really, really love this palette. Not love, but I really like it. The mattes are great and the shimmers are nice as well. I just like the traditional format. I don't like these circle pans, actually. Smoke Sessions. I think this is just a classic palette from Melt. $4.20. I know some people felt like this palette was trash, but I took out the shade Chronic and Shatter and made them my own. So I do have yet to try this with my remix shades, but I love this color story. We have Gemini Classic Palette. Haven't used it yet. Just caught it in stock and was like, let me just get it before it goes out of stock. Mary Jane. Oh, another palette where I had to change 2 shades. The shade Mary Jane and the shade Callie were just not practical. I do really like this palette now. The mattes are actually excellent. And the shimmers that I left in there are great as well. I probably should declutter this one because I couldn't remember the name. This is the Impulsive Palette, and I caught this on sale for like 35 bucks. But I haven't used it yet, and I feel like I should. Here we have Vita, which when this came back in stock, I thought Muerte was right behind, but boy, was I wrong. But this is a great palette. $27, one of my favorite palettes. This is a newer palette to me that I got on a sale, but remember, sales don't matter, just saying. She's in Parties, another really, really good palette by Melt. Millennial Pinks, this one has gone as low as $25 because I think the shimmers might be trash. But the color story I fell for, and I will not hesitate to change out any of these shimmers if they are subpar. Speaking of subpar, we have Brunette. If you see, I did change out the first 2 shades to make this palette just more interesting. I just felt like this was a really forced palette by the brand, but I really do love the last 3 shades, but the first 2 shades just were not giving me what they were supposed to give. And the best for last, this is the Rust palette. This was my very, very first Melt palette. I did change out the shade Classic. That's this shade right here. It was just really light and it was matte and I was never gonna use it in my life. So I've made this palette perfect. These are my Melt palettes, and Melt is just such a special brand. I'm almost done. Great color stories, not so great pricing at times, but man, I do love Melt, and I am excited for what they may do next year. But you know, I really don't need people to do a lot next year, as y'all can see. I really, really don't. All right, you guys, it is the next morning, and I guess maybe I'll just share my feelings about all of this when I'm done the entire video, or on, I don't know, soon I will be sharing my feelings about this collection. But it is Mama Pat, you guys, and this is one of the collections I'm very proud of. Not that I wanted to be a collector, but apparently I am. So let's get started. Mothership 1, Subliminal. Mothership 2, Sublime. Mothership 3, Subversive. Mothership 4, Decadence. Mothership 5, Bronze Seduction. Mothership 6, Midnight Sun. Mothership 7, Divine Rose. Mothership 8, Divine Rose 2. Mothership 9, Utopian Dream. Mothership Mega, which one is this? Celestial Divinity. Mothership Mega, Celestial Odyssey. La Vie in Rose. Platinum Bronze, my first Pat McGrath palette. Sorry, I'm trying to have a steady hand. Golden Opulence. Rose Decadence, Bronze Temptation, Bronze Ambition, Metamorphosis, Dark Star, Dark Galaxy, Galactic Gold, Deep Space Divinity, Bronze Borealis, Ritualistic Rose, Nocturnal Nirvana, Iconic Illumination, Venus in Floors, Voyeuristic Vixen, Floor Fantasia, Interstellar Icon, and Risque Rose. And that is Mama Pat. All right, you guys, we are working now with Unearthly Cosmetics, formerly Alien Cosmetics. One of my first indie brands I was exposed to, so definitely went overboard. Here we go. All I Ever Wanted, Not Normal, Bunnies. This one's very special. This was the holiday palette from 2020, my very first Alien Cosmetics palette. Look at that one, y'all. I can't, but I can. Capricorn, Serendipity, Fairy Frolic, Low Lights. I am putting this with eyeshadow palettes. Smells Like Holiday Spirit, Strawberry Milkshake, Lure, and The Witching Hour. All right, you guys, we're getting into some more indie. We have a few brands in this little segment. Menagerie Indigo Ink. It's the only palette I have by them. Adept Ninhydrin, Adept Plain Jane, Adept Kodan. These are brand new. Tammy Tanuka. We have the Chinchilla, the Languid Toad, and the Playful Snake. It's Freaking Bats remastered by Shroud Cosmetics, a collab with Butte Bean. All the shimmers are my shimmers. Well, not my shimmers, but shimmers from other brands, because I could not deal with those shimmers, but I love this color story. Heart of Fantasia is by Pretties for Your Face. This is the Sugar Drizzle Pizza Kitty palette. Glaminatrix U Beauty palette. I change this palette around a lot. Copacetic Cosmetics. This is the Companion palette. And there's the inside. This is the Splunking Quad, also by Copacetic Cosmetics, and I absolutely love this one. This shade right here is one of my favorites, called Glowworms. Look at that. I can. These babies right here are my Notoriously Morbid palettes. Rip My Effing Heart Out is my first palette, and there it is. Loki, Absinthe and Lace, Path of the Dark Side, one of my favorites. Catching the Naughty is the newest one. Ooh, I love this one too. All right, for this round, we have Viseart, Sydney Grace, and Give Me Glow. We will start with Give Me Glow. Christmas Morning, Vintage Rose, Vivid Rose. Moving on to Sydney Grace, Tiny Marvels, Enduring Love, one of my favorite palettes of all time. Quintessence, another one of my favorites. On the Horizon, Radiant Reflection. Those were the 3 that Sydney Grace did with Temptalia. Now, these Viseart palettes, all of them are new except these 2, 1 and 2, that I got from BoxyCharm. So we have Neutral Mattes, Dark Mattes, Paris Etoile, Spritz Edit, Peridot, Soleil La Plage, or La Plage, Bijouette. I think that's how you say it. Moving on to the next set of palettes. Here we go. We have the original Blends palette by Blends Bunny Cosmetics. Sigma Untamed. This is the Venice Fling palette by Bailey Sarian and Estate Cosmetics. Desert Monsoon by What's Up Beauty. Let's get in some Huda Beauty. This is Desert Dusk. A couple of the shades I've changed. Naughty Nudes. You see the shade Slippery has been changed. Rose Quartz, I have not used it yet. Don't worry. The new nude, I have changed a couple of shades in here. There are no pressed glitters. Mercury Retrograde, I probably changed a shade or 2 in here as well. We have 3 Obsessions. We have Neon Obsessions, Khaki Haze, Jaguar. ZC Cosmetics, just wanted to show y'all the outside because it's so pretty. This is the collab between ZC Cosmetics and the British Museum. Here is the first Alice in Wonderland palette. I don't remember what that first palette was called. This is like the Alice and the Queen. Real quick, look how pretty that is. Come on. This one is Alice and the Flamingo. Now, y'all know this was coming, so Hold on. I have a missing palette. I'll be right back. Did I give that palette away? Okay, I'm not even worried about the missing palette because she no longer has a brand, but we're doing this. We're doing it. KKW Beauty. KKW Beauty and Mario, the artist and muse. KKW Beauty and Mario. I really like this one. I don't care. KKW Beauty and Winnie Harlow. Sepia Sunset. Camo. Don't tell me you didn't get it for $20. If you didn't, I understand. Classic 2, that upper left shade. Don't get it twisted. I put that in there. Cocoa Mattes. I'm probably sure that left-hand shade at the bottom, I put that in there. And Crystallized. I have Classic Blossom, and I don't know where that is. Oh, you're not missing anything because, I mean, she's about to revamp the whole brand, so these are irrelevant, but I still like them. All right, you all, next round, here we go. Starting with Odin's Eye, this is the Giant Wolves palette, Hummingbird palette, Red Dragon palette. This was the legendary Diversa collection. From the Norns collection, we have the Big palette. Then we have Erd, which is a very awesome palette. Verdandi, which is also very awesome. Scald, which I really don't care for that much. It's a good companion palette. From MAC Cosmetics, this is my only MAC palette. This is the Feast Your Eyes eyeshadow palette. Beauty Bay, we have the Wilderness on the left, Age of Opulence on the right. Unique Beauty, these are actually up for declutter status. This one was very, very unique, but it's very, very messy. This is the Roots palette. We have the Tribes palette. Not sure the name of this palette because I think it's the Queen's palette. All right, this last lot is BH Cosmetics. So let's start with the Sweet Shops. Bubblegum, Cherry on Top, Cotton Candy, my favorite, Orange Sorbet, Snow Cone, Pistachio. And then I have 2 of the Zodiac palettes. The one on the left is the Crystal Zodiac, and the other one is just the Zodiac. And last but not least, we have Avocado Toast on the left and Blueberry Muffin on the right. All right, you guys, we are going strong. All right, here we go. Urban Decay Game of Thrones. I will never get rid of this. Game of Thrones is my favorite show, and I really did like this palette a lot, but I don't like this one because it's just all really light, but everything else is really cute. Look at the chair, look at the throne. This is my first palette, you guys. Born to Run. I can't. This is the Honey palette. I purchased this recently on sale. And the Wild West palette I got on Mercari. This is the NYX Cosmetics Tetris palette. Now, a student gave me this, and I just have not been able to bring myself to use it because it has 80 shades. So, yeah. All right, next is Glam Light. We have the Chocolate Donut palette and the Pie palette. They are both great palettes. I just never go for them because of this packaging, but this palette is so great. It's probably going to be replaced by Chocolate Martini. This is so nice, though. And this one's nice, too, but I mean, who wants to be reaching into this daggone pie every time? But look at these shimmers. They're really great. And it's got a little blush shade right here. This one has like this little highlight. I mean, they just, I don't know. I know that's their thing. We have the Cake palette, which I got on sale. I have never used it, but I think I should, especially like this right here. That looks really good. Actually, probably gonna hold on to this. Ice Cream Dream, and thus you can see why I'm like not using the Cake palette, because there are so many similar shades in Ice Cream Dream. It's like, I don't think I need both. I don't need both. This is not even a thought. Chocolate Martini, which was gifted to me by one of my friends. Here's my KKW Beauty Classic Blossom palette. I was gonna find it, y'all, and I put that shade in there, so. And then we have the Berlin 89 palette by Lethal Cosmetics. I will be using this. I just haven't gotten to it yet, and I'm sure you can see why. All right, now it is ColourPop time. We have Mulan. Haven't used this. Don't care for the glitters and probably don't need the color story. Frozen 2, we have Anna on the left, Elsa on the right. I did change the glitter out of the middle shade, and I do like both of these palettes. Going Coconuts is good. It's just something I don't really neat. This is the collab with Makeup Shayla. We have Meant to Be, Malibu Barbie. If y'all seen the original Addams Family Values, that's where that's from. Sailor Moon, Gather Round Sisters. This is the first Hocus Pocus palette. Baroque, At Forest Sight. Say it with me, y'all. The Child. And The Mandalorian. Nightmare Before Christmas. Lush Life. Limoncello, Tinkerbell, Orchid Unite. All right, so these are my Glam Shop palettes. We have the Camo palette, the Nude Shimmers palette, the Burgund palette, Laguna, Citronata, Brown Sugar, Caramel, Paprika. I had to replace this shade because it fell out, and Fioletti, and then the Smoky palette. And look at this shade right here. This is really pretty. That one's so nice. Okay, you guys, here are some of my luxury palettes, combination of Mercari finds, sales, and some weren't. Okay, here we go. We have Chanel Candor et Seduction, Dior Jungle. This is okay. I know a lot of people like this one. Black Bow, my favorite. Mitza, it's all right. FOMO Find, Birds of a Feather. This is Nightbird. And this one's Early Bird. Tom Ford Red Harness, was stalking it forever and found it on Mercari. Frostfire, Metallic Denim, Double Indemnity, Virgin Orchid, Photosynthesex, Body Heat, and Daydream. So I think we are almost finished. These are my Nomad Cosmetics palettes. So let's get started. We have Marrakesh. I've never used this and I'm thinking about decluttering it, giving it to someone. This is the Iceland Palette, the Land of Fire and Ice, which was my first Nomad palette. This one is Berlin. I have not used this and I may gift this, I'll show you in a second why. This is the Shanghai palette that was discontinued. We have the Harajuku palette and we have Haunted Europe and America's Parks. Now my favorites are the America's Parks, Haunted Europe. Those are my two favorites. The Berlin palette and the Haunted Europe palette are very similar in tones. And I just feel like maybe I shouldn't use the Berlin palette since I've already used the Haunted Europe palette. They're not exactly the same, but they're definitely similar. So let me know your thoughts about that. I just don't want to be wasteful. Well, more wasteful than I've been already. So that's Nomad, y'all. All right, you guys, if you're still here, this is the last of it. I could possibly, I don't think I am. I think this really and truly is it. So let's do it, y'all. Starting with Lunar Beauty, we have Strawberry Dreams, Moonspell, Eternal Eclipse, and Moonspell Volume 2. I have this little random one by NYX. These two by Revlon are from my sister. They are the Color Stay palettes. This was a Natasha Denona I had gotten from BoxyCharm. This is called Aina. I just use these to change out my other shades in my other Natasha Denona palettes if I want to. Rosy Glam is Makeup by Mario. Then we have some Juvia's Place. This is the Nubian 3 Coral, the Saharan 2, Wahala 1 with no pressed glitters because I changed them out, and the same with Wahala 2. That's it, y'all. I mean, not that's it, but that's it. So I am going to be putting together a giveaway or declutter pile and figure out what to do with them. Thank y'all for being here. This is a lot. What is there to say? I have completely overindulged in eyeshadow palettes, and I have had so many thoughts about this video because it took me days to film these palettes, to lay them out. And the other thing that I did is every single palette has been logged into a spreadsheet by brand. One of my goals for this year is to inventory all of my makeup because I don't like this situation that I'm in with having so much excess because I couldn't keep track of it all. And now I do have a system of going through and looking at my spreadsheet and saying, do I have this or do I have that? I'm not going to say that I'm not going to add any more palettes to my collection. And I remember last year at this time saying, I'm going to be choosy about this, that, and the third. And I wasn't. There's certain palettes that I know I'm gonna add. Like, I'm gonna add Pat McGrath if she does a mothership. I'm gonna add Natasha Denona if she does like a midi or one of the big palettes. Like, there's certain palettes I know I'm gonna get, but those aren't released that often. I think it's just some of these palettes like in between that I could have passed on. And I think the other thing is when you're able to just shove things in a drawer, you forget about them. You don't really realize what you have or how much of it you have. So this was such a therapeutic exercise for me to actually have to, I mean, a couple of my drawers, the bottoms are falling out because they're not like the most sturdy material, but it's because there are too many palettes. I've had to use my palettes as display pieces in my living room. That's how many palettes I have. So how many palettes are there? There are 247 palettes. That's how many I have. And I am going to declutter some of them. I don't know how many, but there are palettes that I don't go for Juvia's Place at all. Like so as beautiful as the Juvia's Place palettes look and as good as their formula may be, I cannot allow myself to buy any more Juvia's Place. I can't allow the fact that they're so affordable get me sucked into that. And that's where the issue is. It's finding things on sale and then saying, okay, instead of just getting that one palette that you wanted from ColourPop, since they're $10, let's get 6 palettes. That's the problem. That's where I really have to be accountable with myself, because I could buy one Mothership palette for $125 and then I could spend that same $125 at ColourPop and then just have all these things to show for it. But it doesn't matter when you don't use it. It's kind of unfortunate that I had to do this to learn that lesson, but I think that really hit me. Like, the reality has really hit me. Not only just how much money I've spent, but just how much makeup I'm wasting, because as much as I want to use it all, I don't have the time. So I definitely need to go through that pile of palettes that I shared in my unused palette video. Like right now I'm wearing the Eternal Eclipse by Lunar Beauty, because I was like, I love that palette, like how it looks. I love that color story and have not touched it, hadn't swatched it, anything, because I just always have stuff coming in. And that's another thing. Like, you don't always have to have stuff coming in. It feels good. I get this adrenaline rush, you know, when I order something that I'm gonna have this thing. But sometimes, because it's not instant gratification, when it comes, I'm just not even excited. And so I just see that being a negative spiral. And so I just want to share that in case you're in that place as well. So I'd like to say that you're going to see some changes on my channel. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me a good eyeshadow palette. And I am fortunate that there are some palettes that I get in PR, like the Unearthly Cosmetics palettes. I've been getting those. I've gotten some Nomad palettes. I've gotten one Notoriously Morbid palette. So I'm not going to say that new palettes are not going to come in. But what I am going to say is that I'm going to be a lot more careful. And I said it last year too. But I think each time I go through this, it is another step in a positive direction for me. And I feel that change coming. So I hope you all are down with that, you know, and I hope you all enjoyed my collection. I do love my collection. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh my God, like when I laid those Pat McGrath palettes out and those Natasha Denona palettes out, I was like, these are absolutely beautiful. They are absolutely gorgeous. But there were just some things in between, like the Makeup by Mario palettes. It's like, why don't you get that? Like, what are we doing here? Even the Tom Ford quads that I recently purchased, I'm like, these are just, they are beautiful. So I don't feel like I hate it, but I do feel like it's out of control and it's too much. So I'm gonna get some use out of these palettes. And, you know, I just also recognize that so many things with eyeshadow are repeats. I don't need to try every single formula. Like, there's not that many eyeshadow formulas, you guys. There's just not. Different brands have, if not the same formula, especially when it comes to some of those indie palettes, they're really close, you know? So I don't have to say, oh, let me try this new palette because I haven't tried their shimmers. Like, who cares? I've tried the best shimmers ever. I already have. So I need to be a little bougie, y'all. I need to be like, if this is not gonna knock my socks off, like, just say no, you know? All right, enough rambling. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and my eyeshadow palettes today. I really do appreciate you guys, and I know that y'all have been asking me for that video since Christmas last year. And I remember showing everything but the eyeshadow palettes. And I think it was because I didn't want to feel the way I'm feeling right now. I didn't want to take the time to take the palettes out and organize them and really come to terms with the abundance that's in this collection. Like, I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do it. I was like, this is too much work, and that's a problem. So I really wanted to make this a priority this year of something that I wanted to do. I did want to have it up before 2022, but this is just kind of where it worked out. I hope this was therapy for you, because it damn sure was for me. So until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I will see y'all really soon. Bye.